and welcome to another episode of Chasing Mysteries Gardens. I'm Rebecca, and today we will be working in the kitchen on a pretty big project. So it is still winter, but we have run out of the applesauce that I made in the fall, and I need to make some more. So that's what we're going to do today. But this video is not about making applesauce. I actually made an extensive video back in the fall, and I will link that video at the end of this one. Today we're going to talk about making apple juice and how we're going to make it. So normally when you make applesauce, you're left with peels and cores, and some people give them to chickens. I don't have chickens. Some people put them in a compost, which I could do. But today I'm going to use the scraps of the apples to make apple juice. So my brother for Christmas got me this steam juicer. And it is a multi-level pot that goes on your stove that uses steam to bring the juice out of those scraps. And then you can save that juice and can it, and that is what we're going to do today. So I hope that you will join me on this adventure as we explore for the very first time how to make apple juice with our brand new steam juicer. Let's get this bad boy open. So I was very excited to receive this. It's something that I've wanted because whenever I cut a pineapple or apples or tomatoes for that matter, I'm always left with scraps, and I'm thinking, besides composting, how can I use these? There's still value even in the scraps. So I heard about this steam juicer that will take those scraps and pull the juice out of them. So we have a lid. Lots of plastic. So this is the tube. We have one pot. This is a second pot, but it has all kinds of holes in it, so it's like a strainer. This is the third pot. I'm not quite sure how this goes together. And there are actually no directions in the box. Oh no. Okay, let's use logic here. So this one has the spout, and inside there's a hole. So I'm thinking that this one goes in the middle for the juice to go on. This one is for the top, you put your scraps in the top, and then the juice goes down through the holes. So this one must be for the water. So it stacks just like that. So you'll put water in the bottom, and then your juice will come out here in the middle, and you attach this tube. So you attach the tube right there. And then when you're ready to let the juice out, you unhook this clamp, and the juice will come out the tip. And the lid. It's so shiny and new, I can't wait to get it dirty. So let's get it on the stove and get started. So many shiny pots. Well, I just realized that the instructions were on the back of the box. I was looking for an insert, so I was correct. Water kettle, juice kettle, fruit kettle, and then the glass lid. Fill the water kettle with water. Place empty juice kettle on top, then drain with the drain hose attached. And make sure that the spring valve is closed. Place empty fruit kettle on top, fill with fruit. It does say hard or large fruit should be sliced. Fruit with a bitter peel should be peeled like oranges or lemons. Grapes can be dropped in on the stem, and apples do not have to be cored, but that's what we're going to use is just the cores and the peel. Cover with glass lid and cook for 60 to 90 minutes. Juice can be canned or bottled. Blah, blah, blah. Juice is concentrated and can be diluted as much as 2 to 1 for drinking. Yay. Sounds easy. It didn't say how much water to put in. I'm assuming that this line right here is where the second pot goes, so you can put water up to that point. You want to probably make sure that there's enough water so that it doesn't burn off too quickly, because it is going to cook for quite a while. I'm assuming that once you get your peels in here and it starts juicing and with this water, it's going to be really heavy. So it's going to be hard to lift that off to add more water. So I'm going to start with about 3/4 of the way full and go from there. The last applesauce I made, I used a mix of Cortland and what I think were Macintosh. I wasn't sure. I bought them at the farmer's market, and I know I bought Cortland, but the other one that they mixed in, I don't know. I think I just said whatever, and they gave me whatever, so I don't know. I don't have any more of those apples because I used them all for the applesauce, so I had to go and buy them. And we have a wonderful local farmer's market type store, and they sell fresh produce at a very, very reasonable rate, especially for the winter time. So I got 20 pounds. I got 10 pounds of Fuji apples, and I got 10 pounds of Crispin. These are both great for applesauce. They both have very different flavor profiles. This is a greener, it's a little more tart, and this one's more tangy and sweet. And then I also bought some Macintosh to just throw into the mix because these are tart and will add great flavor. Normally I wouldn't wash these apples because the peels are coming off anyway, but because we're using the peels, I'm just going to give them a quick wash in my sink. I think I'm going to start with half and half. I don't think all of these apples are going to fit into my stainless steel pot. I might have to do this applesauce in 2 batches. Put a sticker on here, I can't get it off. There we go. You're beautiful. So this is how we are going to peel our apples. This is an apple peeler from Peel Away, and it's nice because it just suctions to your countertop. And then you put the little pick on, screws onto the arm. And then you have the arm that does the peeling and the handle. Then all you need to do, stick an apple on and let her rip. So this is the part we will use for applesauce. And this is the part that we are going to use for juicing.
One eternity later.
Now that we have a full pot of applesauce, we also have a full bowl of scraps. So let's head on over to the stove and get these started in our new steam juicer. So here we are with our juicer. We're just going to turn the burner on to get the water underneath boiling. I actually forgot to wash this part. All right. Now we just put our scraps here in the top. Let that come to a boil and the juice will drip down into the middle layer here. Also getting my apples on for applesauce with just enough water so that they don't burn on the bottom. Don't need those yet. All right, we're cooking. So you can start to see the condensation on the top of the lid, which means it is starting to steam, and there's a little vent hole here, if you can see it. And steam is starting to come out of there too. So when I was making the applesauce, I put in way too much water. I thought it was burning because I smelled burning. But turns out it was just something on the actual cooktop surface. But I added too much water, so I've tried to take some of that water out, and I'm going to put it directly into here. Woo! That is steamy. You want to be careful when you open that. And that will just add to the liquid on the bottom. We are adding our last bits of apple to a very full pot. I like to get the new apples down to the bottom. We're also going to add our last bits of peels to the steamer. Woo, that's hot. It's already, you can see it's already starting to break down, become soft, which is what we want. So it was about 20 pounds of apples, and those cores and peels fit in there just fine. All right, we'll keep that going. So I'm really tempted. I want to see what it looks like. So let's do this very carefully because it's hot. Just gonna lift this just a little. Hey, there's juice in there. Smells delicious. This has been bubbling away for quite some time now. Let's just give a peek again. Woo! I don't know how you tell when it's done. Those are our jars for applesauce. This looks like it could steam for a little bit longer. There's definitely juice in there. see if I can. Let's bring you over. So it doesn't look like that much. Oh no, I forgot. I had some cherries that were going bad, but I forgot I was going to add to this. So let's add them right now, and we'll just let it cook for a little bit longer. And I'm just doing the whole cherry and stem and everything, so. All right, keep cooking. Hope there's enough water down there. Maybe I should check the water. Oh yeah, that's almost dry actually. Woo, so steamy. All right, we'll get this back to boiling again. This can be super hot. So I put just a bowl warmer with the jar. The jar's hot. All right, and then whoop, you simply, oh no, why is it not coming out? Oh no, what am I doing wrong? All right, we're gonna try this again. I see liquid in the tube. I don't know if it's juice. Oh, that's hot. Woo! So now that there's liquid in the tube is dripping. I just had to clean up the floor because I didn't see that. So I'm gonna take this, put that there. You guys, look at that! Look at how beautiful. It smells like fresh apple cider. I don't want to put it on the cold counter. Oh, I'm so excited! I'm so excited! All right, we'll let this. I don't know if I should just go ahead and, this jar is not hot, so I don't want it to crack. Right. I know this is awkward. You probably can't see very well. I'm gonna call this done. The cherries didn't really break down too much, probably because I put them in so late. So I don't know how much cherry juice is actually in here. You can see this one, if I can get it out, this one's kind of still whole. So that broke down really well. You can see, don't be like me. So this broke down really well. It was, if you remember, filled all the way to the top with scraps, and now we are just left with scraps that have been juiced. This is what juice is left. You can see that this is a little bit red, probably from the cherries. we're going to get that into a can, into a jar. We are now going to can this juice. So this is a 2-to-1 concentrate. You can mix it with water, soda, wine, mixed sangria. You can So what was in here was substantially more red than the other two. So the cherry juice came out. And then this was almost like a syrup. So I didn't realize that the bottom portion of my juicer was out of water. So luckily I caught it in time, I hope. So the bottom of the pan, you can see, is starting to turn colors when stainless steel gets too hot. So we're just going to let that come down to temperature right here on the stove and learn my lesson to not do it again, because we could have lost this pot. So I'm very glad that I caught it when I did. So I am just letting this come to a gentle simmer just to get it hot. And then I'm going to can it in half-pint jars, because we don't really, I use apple juice for cooking, and so I don't want any more than a half a pint for that recipe, so I'm just going to put it in these jars. And then we will water bath can it. I did add just a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in here. Doesn't need any sugar or anything like that. So we just are waiting on that process. There are some bits of fruit in the bottom, and you could strain this out with cheesecloth or a fine mesh strainer or something. I'm just gonna leave it in. It's just little bits of apple. I don't think it'll hurt anything. We are done. I think this is the first time I've sat down in 5 hours. But it is well worth it. Look at the color on this juice. So this is apple with a few cherries, ratio unknown. All right, let's give it a taste. It smells delicious. It's still really hot. That's really good. That would be really good if you 2 for 1 with water. Really good juice. If you put some cinnamon and mulling spices in here, really good cider. This is delicious. So what did we learn today while using our steam juicer for the first time? 1, steam is hot. Be careful. Don't try to lift something when it's boiling, because it is hot. 2, watch the water in the bottom. Don't let it go dry. I didn't really notice any clues as to it going dry, so maybe I'll do some research as to what I can do to make sure that I'm aware of that. 1 tip would probably be, every time you add peels, just check the bottom water. It's probably a good general rule of thumb. Also learned that scraps are delicious. Scraps are good. Use your scraps. This was just apple peels and some cherries that were on the verge of going bad and apple cores, and otherwise this would have gone in the compost or in the garbage. And today we made 2.5 quarts of this beautiful apple cider, and I am canning some in half pints to use for later cooking and drinking, and I'm excited about that. so we have something to put on our shelves. And then we also have this little bit to enjoy here while it still snows outside and I get reset to go ahead and make dinner, because it is never ending from one project to the next. I'm okay with that. Thank you so much for my Christmas present. This was my Christmas toy this year, and it was so much fun to play in the kitchen on this cold wintry day and put something into our pantry for later use. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more. And if you would be so kind as to share this with everybody you know. And as always, Suki Suki. Love the earth, love yourself, love each other. Till next time. Cheers.